You're live. Go ahead.
We are live. Welcome back to the Get. No, that's not it. No. Welcome back to Nerd. No. That's not it. No. This is Tech. Nope. No.
So you showing your age?
Yeah.
Like
Uh,
showing your age? You forgot your own show.
Ah!
Old man.
This is Prime Time Live. Live. And I am your host, Mingo-Dee.
I'm your boy Snake.
And Hammer isn't here yet, but he might be joining us. So keep your ears and your eyes tuned because he might, mirror
Leave it
himself
to
in.
the oldest man to be the latest man. Old man.
Ha. All right, guys. So with this being the last Monday of the month of August, I have some news for you. Now, a little con then came out not too long ago. No, not Comic-Con. What did? But we're not talking about that. Not Gamescom. Let's get down stuff. I don't even know. And like I said, Comic-Con and all that. But there was Cinemacon. A lot of people don't really know about Cinemacon. Cinemacon is usually the con that, of course, as you know, it focuses on the movies, of course, cinema. And they usually do private screenings for I guess investors and the news people like myself, but I wasn't there, so sorry. But if I was, then I would be one of the people who get to see behind the scenes, get to see the early trailers, the early footage, and all those good things. So because of that, people revealed some stuff that happened at CinemaCon. So we're going to talk about some of that. And with that being said, let's jump right into it. Let's talk about the Batman. Not the cartoon one, not the animated series, but Matt Reeves, the Batman. I think that's how the dude from Twilight says it. I forgot his name right now. Can't even think of his name. Anyway, so Matt Reeves showed the new trailer and showed some footage of the Batman movie, and while he was showing the footage and talking about it, one of the things that came up is that he says that he wants this Batman film to be the most emotional Batman film. I'm assuming live action because there's a lot of cartoon and comic book versions of Batman that's been out forever. But he says he wants this to be the most emotional that you've ever seen in, on TV and theaters and whatnot. So, and that's a tall glass of water to be drinking, big shoes to fill. But he says he wants this to be the most emotional because he says that mostly people, they usually jump to the origin story, right? When you want an emotional Batman story, or technically any superhero story, well, most of the cases, you jump to the origins, right? You jump to when they, family member dies, something tragic happening, something real horrible, and you get to see, and then you jump to the future and you get to see why they're that, for Batman anyway, why he's that, brooding, that tough, or why he's that, amazing or whatever. But Matt Reeves feels like we need to talk about Batman in year one. Now, I know a lot of you guys probably thinking, well, didn't we get that with, the Dark Knight series when you had, Batman, when he went against Scarecrow and Ra's al Ghul, and, he went against the Joker and then Bane. Didn't you kind of get that idea when it was grounded, gritty, and it was like, yes and no. That Batman technically was still further along. We saw flashbacks of Christian Bale's Batman, and we saw him, training, but we still didn't get a full movie of him in year one. We got to see pieces, and so I would say that Batman was probably maybe 5, maybe 10 years in the game, possibly. I got to go back and watch it
What are you talking about?
to say.
The first
Christian Bale's
Batman?
Batman.
The very first one?
Not Michael Keaton's Batman.
No,
Christian
Bale's first one. It was a retelling of the Batman. His first one. That was his beginning years.
Yeah, but it wasn't year one. It was like maybe 2, 3, maybe 4 years later. But it still wasn't the very first year.
No, they counted that as year one. In the cinema?
Oh, they did.
Yeah, in the cinema, because that's why he popped up on... That's why he slowly built his bat suit over the time. Like, he didn't have a cape at first. He kept going back to get, like, upgrading his tech along the way. Like, that was his year one. Like, for the cinema, that Batman series, that was year one for him.
Okay.
That's what they did, because like whenever he first went to Jim Gordon's office, he didn't have he just had like a hoodie on, or like a mask, and he jumped off the building. That's when he's
I remember that. I thought that was like taken as like a flashback. I didn't think that was.
That whole movie was his year one, like him coming back and starting and finding the Batcave and blah blah blah, like all that. Like that was his year one. Like they sped through it a little, but I mean, it all happened pretty fast in that year one.
Right.
But yeah, that was his year one in that universe, Batman.
Gotcha. So that means that then with all of that being said, first off, I'm so sorry, guys. If you are new here to this channel, come check out a lot of the content. If that's some YouTube, that is. If you're joining us live for the first time, wave, on Facebook and YouTube, comment. Let us know you're here. Say hi to us,
Kenny.
What you say?
Kenny. Not Kenny,
Not Kenny, but Joe Kenny. Or the one who yeah. See, what's up, Kenny? I heard
Paul.
A lot of stories about you, how you shoot, how y'all played, not shoot, but y'all went on games and dungeons, and you did like a lot of crazy stuff. But good job, whatever.
Paul's on YouTube. What up, Paul?
What up, Paul?
Hit the like button. Push the button. So let me know you're here. All right, continue.
Paul, you come back on this show a lot. I appreciate that, dude. You come on all of our shows. So good job. Appreciate that. So with that said, make sure, like you said, like, subscribe, do all that good old stuff. But now moving forward, it's kind of, it makes me wonder now. It makes me wonder now if maybe that's why he wants to be more emotional, because if you're telling a similar story, I'm sure he's probably trying to make it more comic book accurate. Possibly, so that Batman Year One comic book or cartoon movie or whatever the case, whatever. I'm not sure. Maybe he is, maybe he isn't. I haven't seen any more footage since they delayed it or possibly, but I can see why he wants to do that. And like I said, it's big shoes to fill. I'm wondering how he'll do. I if he does it right, then I can see it being very emotional, but I just need to see more footage, because the way that he was trying to explain it, he was trying to explain that he wants it to be to where the idea of his parents dying is why he sucks as Year One, instead of being like super great. I mean, I guess that's the idea he's going with, but he wants it to be Batman. I think the quoted words were shaken to his core, to where Batman is like, yeah, maybe that's why he's like so raw or whatever the case. Now, I'm not sure. Like I said, I haven't read the Year One comic. I haven't really followed it. I've seen like people do bits and pieces, and I've seen the one that Christian Bale and them did or whatever. Can't think of the guy who directed it. I can't think of his name right now. But yeah. So I'm interested, but like I said, big shoes to fill. So yeah.
I don't like this. Like, they've done this over and over again. We've had this before. This is the most emotional Batman. We don't want the most we know the emotional, like, Val Kilmer was the most emotional Batman ever. Like, yeah. Like, every single one of them are like crying little bitches. Like, stop it. Like, you're Batman. Like, I understand you had an emotional experience. I understand. You get, like, but you were little. Like you're up, you're kicking ass now. God dang it! Like it's like I don't know.
I get you.
Like every time, like the Val Kilmer one, like he was like crying in front of the fireplace to whoever the chick was at that time. But it's like literally every single one of them. Like you never see this emotional stuff in the animated series, which was the best series ever. Like Batman got straight to the point, kicking ass. Like that's what we want. Like we know this backstory. Like you don't have to show this like extremely surreal backstory. Like you don't. Like
yeah, that is true. Like, that is true. Yeah.
I'm sorry, rant over.
No. I get you because my hearing that I'm kind of with you on that because me personally, I thought it was just supposed to be like the Riddler or whoever this bad guy was gonna like take him through. And I know I have to go back to the Dark Knight series or whatever, or even taking it back to Michael Keaton with Penguin and Catwoman, because that was Batman Returns was really dope. How they played those characters off each other, and it was like he wanted to arrest Catwoman and he wanted to take her to jail, but she's sexy, so he didn't know what to do. And then Penguin was like really smart. He had him. He thought he had him, but then it was like, how dare you try to arrest Penguin? Just like in the comic book, because this is Cobblepot and he's amazing. I was like, good job how they played that. And even in the Christian Bale one, the Joker one, how Joker just kept playing.
Batman ever. I'm putting it out there right now.
People in the comments, what you think?
Christian Bale sucked.
But that movie with the Joker.
The first one was okay. All the other ones, they sucked.
I don't know. I like the one with the Joker. I think that was really good. That was good.
Well,
that was really good.
The Joker made that movie. That's it.
I will say that.
But I do have a question. He's a bit more aggressive, it seems, in this one. Is that right? In this, they're supposed to be more aggressive. I feel like I've seen the most aggression from Batman was when in the last one with Ben Affleck.
Yeah.
That one was dope.
Yeah.
Like that was a lot of aggression.
Yeah. I mean, it seems like I'm not gonna say he's the most aggressive or more aggressive. I'm probably gonna say this is probably if you paid attention to a lot of year one stuff, like I've looked a little bit of it. I don't think Batman was that like over the top. I think he got more gritty towards his older age, like the one that Ben Affleck was gonna play. I think when he was younger, he was more, I can't kill everybody, like to figure out what works. So he might have broke a dude's jaw because he didn't realize that his ninjutsu or whatever, that he could punch that hard because he was used to fighting with ninjas. So he punched a thug, break his jaw, like, oh, my bad. I think it was more along that than I think they got him more like. I think I don't know.
I do think that even in year one when he came back, like he was trying to like take motherfuckers out. Like he does. Like I understand. Like Batman's always been aggressive and tactical and stuff like that. Like whooping ass every left and right. So that should be in every Batman. Like he takes people down, but he did get more aggressive later, like in the later things. So, but I do feel like he's always had that aggression because he wanted to take. He had that, vendetta against criminals.
Yeah.
Apparently, he's going to be rewriting the Penguin too.
I heard about that, but that's
probably a future ordeal.
Yeah, they Colin something, Farrell. I don't know, but he was in the movie, and he didn't say who was playing, but his costume.
No, I did see that.
Looked like the Penguin.
I know, I did see that. That was confirmed that Colin Farrell.
Oh, he is confirmed. Okay,
he's supposed to be the Penguin, but I don't know if he's going to be in this movie. He might.
I think you might see him starting off, but not really changing to it.
Like he might not be the Penguin yet. He might be playing Cobblepot. Like and then like
he just arrived in the city. He's somewhat starting to get bad, but he's not bad yet.
Don't see him play. I gotta see it because I just that's not.
Yeah, I
clicking
mean,
with me.
yeah. Well, I mean, like I said, I need to see more footage. So hopefully, you know what I'm saying, that footage that they showed us cinnamon buns. I want some of those. That sounds good right now. But why? So now he's gonna get his wife. I knew it. But no, Cinemacon. Maybe we'll see those. I'm pretty sure they usually show the footage later on, maybe about a week, 2-3 weeks, whatever. I think because it comes out later. So
convention.
No, cinema, like the.
Can you imagine?
You know what? They
everywhere?
might. They might actually have that. If it's a thing, they probably just like you can cosplay just about anything. They probably got a con for just about anything.
You see the Apple Jacks people running around. The little cinnamon dude and the apple running around.
That'd be funny. You know what? Someone should that would be funny. That's probably
I'd just like to go there and eat because that'd be amazing.
Crazy. Anyway,
somebody having a cinnamon challenge.
No, do not do that challenge. That is a bad challenge. Anyway, moving on. Let's talk about something else that was displayed at that convention, which was this wasn't displayed. Actually, let's talk about something else before we get to the final thing, the final girl, the final countdown. Can't say it. Might get people might stop us, whatever. But anyway, apparently, and no, actually, it was there. Venom, the Venom 2 was showed at Cinemacon. They've showed, but the reason why people were waiting is because if you didn't know, a couple of weeks because Cinemacon was Tuesday. A couple of days before, people were like, "Oh," because I saw the footage. Snake even sent me not the footage, the article, and then Snake sent me the article, so I read the article he sent, which was Venom 2 was supposed to be delayed, and it was supposed to be. Then, but Sony never said anything. Then another source, I think Variety, was like, "No, that's not true. Apparently, it's not. Sony is still going to push forward." And so now everyone was waiting for what they're going to show at CinemaCon and if they're going to announce it. They showed something, but I still didn't hear any announcements. So based off all the information we know right now, it still looks like a go. So, I mean, maybe in the next week or so, we'll find out. But I'm hoping it stays. Unless it's really bad and they really got to fix something, maybe Carnage or something, the colors started messing up. He started turning like gold or something, and they got to fix the coloring or something, or maybe the pixels all messed up. If it's something really bad, then I hope it's delayed. Otherwise, bring it. I want to see it in October. I think it'd be one of the good movies to start off the Halloween, thing that's going on. Of course, you got the actual Halloween movie coming out on Halloween, and you got other movies that are already out now that are going to be, people are going to watch more of those. But I think Venom will be a good movie that is not only got creatures that can look scary, but you can take your kids without, freaking them out. I mean, some of you guys might want to take kids and freak them out because you do that, I know I used to jump out, jump out, I can't, so you might want to take some, or you might want to take a girl and get scared. But Venom 2 is actually a good date movie, a good movie, so I want to see it.
Hide your wife, because Carnage is in this thing.
So I hope that it is, I hope that it is going to come out. Not that it's going to be delayed. I don't want it to be delayed. Like I said, unless it's, something really bad with the movie. Or maybe, but other than that, I hope it comes out. So I want to see, plus I want to see more footage. I want to see that movie. So far what we've seen looks good. So
I want to see how they're going to incorporate Venom with Spider-Man, because that needs to happen. Can't have freaking Venom without Spider-Man.
Okay, so since you said that since you said that they were, before I go into this next one, because this next one might explain it a lot more. We'll talk about this next one. But before I go into it, I'm going to talk about, I think I talked about it couple of weeks back, but I'm gonna reiterate on it a little more. I know Kevin Feige and I know Sony was talking about, of course, as you all know, the Spider-Verse and how that was gonna work. You seen Morbius, and then you saw the Vulture and all these other things like that. So I'm assuming they were going to do a thing to where maybe Tom Holland's Spider-Man ends up there, or with everything that Loki did, it just kind of just does all of this, and now all of a sudden everybody knows Spider-Man exists in that world, or their worlds are the same, but the only people who know that the worlds aren't the same are Spider-Man, of course, and Venom, because he has a symbiote. That's my theory on it, because if you have a symbiote on, maybe the symbiote can protect you from time magic. I don't know, maybe not, but he says no. We don't know how they might do it. It might have it to where it can do that. Venom is, the symbiotes have done a lot of crazy things. They've taken over the Hulk, for God's sake, and they've taken over everybody. They've taken over. Exactly. So if they could do stuff like that, the only reason they took over everybody
was, that's in the comics, and that was because of the symbiote god, did it.
So yeah, they could be making by themselves.
But
they can still be making stuff.
The point of the matter is that you can't have freaking Venom without Spider-Man. That's where he got all his powers and stuff, was because he was attached to Spider-Man first.
And they're working on that. I believe they're working.
Get to it, damn it.
And speaking of working on it, so if you have not seen it, you've been living under a rock. It's been out, and I'm not gonna spend. I want to talk about it, but I'm not gonna spend too much, because actually, I could do a whole show on that freaking trailer. But the Spider-Man No Way Home trailer came out last week. We talked about it. That Monday we talked about it, and then soon as the show was over, guess what happened? It came out, and I was like, "What?" It was exciting. Everything that you thought you saw on the leak actually happened, and you actually got to see it, and it was amazing. You saw all this stuff, but the reason I'm bringing it up at the moment right now is to say that it was so amazing because of all the hype that it outdid, I think it was an Infinity War or Endgame, as in the first 24 hours, the most watched trailer. Because Endgame, I think, beat, I forget what they beat. It could have been Deadpool. But Endgame beat whoever they beat, and then Spider-Man beat them. And the projected numbers were, Endgame was what? 280 something, 289, 283 million or something like that. And Spider-Man got, wait for it, 355 million or 56 million.
No, 355.5 million times within 24 hours.
Which is insane. How many people, and it makes you wonder. That's just why I said this before. Was the leak on purpose? I think it was, because that's good publicity. You make people be like, "Oh, do you want to see it? You want to see it?" And it's like, "Oh, we want to see it. We want to see it." You can't see it. You can't see it. You want to say, no, you can't. Okay, you can see it now. And then they're able to see it, and it's like, whoa! And then it's like so amazing. So I think that's dope. That's crazy, the amount. So only thing I can say is that with that type of publicity, Spider-Man's gonna have to bring it. And I have no doubt it will, because it's a part of the multiverse. If you missed last week's show, you would know that I talked, if you saw last week's show, you would know I talked about this. If you didn't, I talked about the timeline, and pretty much No Way Home is 6 to 7 months later than all the other stuff that's happened from Loki all the way now. So now it's going to explain why Doctor Strange and WandaVision and all that stuff is happening. And if you, like I said, if you've seen the trailer, you know Green Goblin from Tobey Maguire is there, so that means we might get to see Tobey.
We will.
And Andrew Garfield's Electro is there, so Jamie Foxx is in the movie, so that means Andrew Garfield might show up with his. And then Dr. Octopus is there, and who knows where. Some other Easter eggs. Somebody said they thought they saw Sandman. Somebody said they thought they saw the Lizard. So I mean, if that's the case, it's definitely the Sinister Six,
Well, see,
which I think is pretty cool.
The Lizard is questionable because from what people have seen, like it could be either the Lizard or it could have been just a dimensional black shadow creature thing jumping at him, because it jumps at Peter like in the and gets hit. There's like one of the strangest walls that keeps it at bay, so you can't really tell if that's the Lizard or not.
Right.
So, but I mean, if like if Doc Ock comes in and also Electro is confirmed, like that right there confirms the two worlds are gonna be, like, the villains are gonna be in here too. Wait, I don't understand one thing though, because they did mention that it's like they all came when they died in the previous worlds. Like they said that, like, for instance, Doc Ock, whenever he went into the harbor, that's where he's going to take place, popping back up into this world. Like,
right.
But the thing is, like, when he did that, at that point in time, he had turned back from doing evil. Remember? He
right
to control the thing, he actually took back control over the arms and, like, held, and he's the one that took it down into the harbor, you know, like, and he died, like, he even told Peter he was sorry and all that, you know, like, he reconciled type stuff, you know, because at first, you know, like, the arms that were controlling him, he took back over control. So for him to be popping back up in here, he's like, hello Peter, and everything, like, bad and stuff. So it's like, I don't think that's the right timeline of where he picked up, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know.
Yeah. One thing that I love about Marvel, when they cut their trailers, they like to trick you a lot. So who knows? They could have got them way before it. They could be doing some Loki, Kang the Conqueror time stuff, to where maybe when they did that, it made that version. It made, instead of him killing the thing took over his body, or he merged with it and he just stayed bad. I don't know. I mean, I don't know. Or they could have just got him early in the movie and then he just decided, oh well, I'm smart, I'm Dr. Octopus, I figured everything out. This is multiverse and blah blah blah.
I still keep my theory that when he says hello Peter, he is talking to Toby, like, cause that's the only Peter he knows. He don't know Andrew or Tom Holland as
of course not.
Peter Parker. Like, just because they're in Spider-Man outfits don't mean they're Peter. Like, to him, he knows who Spider-Man and Peter Parker are, you know, in his world. So
it could be to where Peter, the other Peter, since it's a Spider-Man movie, the other Peters get pulled in first. They talk and all the kind of stuff like that. This is just a theory of mine. I'm gonna see if I'm doing a lot of theories until the movie come out, and then when I see it, I'm like, I was right, I was wrong, wrong now. Right now, I'm like, you know, it's good to do that. It's kind of fun.
I wonder if they're gonna throw Miles Morales in there. That'd be dope.
That would be a good way to bring him in.
That one in there, you know.
Yeah, like that would be really good. And then, you know, Doctor Strange is like, okay, it's too many Peters here, blah blah blah, this and that. It's not gonna work. I gotta put y'all back, this and that. But before he does, then boom, Dr. Octopus sees the Tobey Maguire one. Hello, Peter, and then he's like, oh, you got friends, other Spider-Man. I don't know, but it'd be dope. But I'm excited. Like I said, we can talk about Spider-Man forever. That trailer was just dope. We can pick it apart, talk about stuff, the different costumes, magic, all that. But we're going to move on from Spider-Man, and now we're going to get into the good stuff. That was like, you know, if I did the Naruto thing, that would have been tight. But I don't know those things, so whatever. Anyway, at Cinemacon, it was confirmed The Matrix is boom. But you already know that, right? You already know the Matrix is back. So why is it exciting? Because they told what the fourth Matrix is called, Matrix 4 Resurrections. And it's interesting that they said that because the storyline is pretty dope. I mean, well, if you don't know the Matrix, spoiler alert, but it shouldn't be spoilers. It's been out forever. So technically, Matrix, it started, you're inside a machine, then you try to escape the machine, power inside the machine, the one outside of the machine, outside real world, machines took over the world, blah, 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 war, this and that or whatever, take down the Matrix just to find out you're in an ever loop, just like in the Marvel movie, in the timeline, in the loop to where the Matrix needs the one and the one needs the Matrix. It needs people and the people need the machines and the machines need the people in order to survive. So the cycle starts itself every time rebellion happens in order to keep the new quote unquote circle of life. It's much more complicated, or maybe it isn't, but so if you haven't but if you know that already, then technically this is possibly a maybe not so reboot-ish, not maybe. It's complicated. Let me just explain. So it's been confirmed that Carrie-Anne Moss and Keanu Reeves are back playing their respectable characters. But at the beginning of the trailer, because they talked about the trailer. We don't get to see it yet, but they talked about it. Neo is being called Thomas for some reason. I've had two articles, so I was able to find out. One explained the Thomas thing, the other one just kind of went through it summary quickly. And he's in a therapist chair with Neil Patrick Harris. So, which I know a lot of people like Neil Patrick Harris from How I Met Your Mother. Trust you got to watch him in the in this other show where he was like it was based off that movie that Jim Carrey did about trying to get the little kids. I forgot what it's called. He played that bad character. He talked like this. I forgot the name of it. Series of Unfortunate Events. There it is. But he was really good in that. I think he'll be really good as a therapist. But anyway, as a therapist, he's talking to him, and Neo, our Keanu Reeves, is taking these blue pills. Matrix about blue pills. So he's taking the blue pills and he's talking about, how life is ongoing circle. But he doesn't seem to remember his previous life or what happened or anything like that. If you know the old Matrix, you know that he died-ish. So Matrix started over. He's technically this guy or whatever. Then he sees Carrie-Anne Moss, his character, as Trinity. They like, do I know you? They, I guess shake hands or whatever case may be. Then apparently it moves on. One article says that the new guy is going to play Morpheus. I forgot younger Morpheus tells him it's time and or something like that, or some other character. He takes his red pill and apparently now things are about to jump back somewhat. And then they said after that the trailer just kind of jumps and shows different things going on. People, in and out of the Matrix, fight scenes, different that or whatever. But, so technically I'm excited. And this is supposed to be that we have our characters in the Matrix, but young Morpheus, which I'm not sure why he's young. I mean, other than, Lawrence Fishburne didn't want to come back, of course. He said he was kind of through with it, or maybe he has other projects. So I'm not sure if they're doing a time jump or just because when the Matrix restarted, maybe they've got a younger Morpheus, because I know the Matrix is able to, when it restarts, it can choose whatever time or how the age or whatever. So I'm not sure how they're doing it here. But yeah, so he's going to take the red pill and apparently he's going to be back, I'm assuming, I'm not sure how to his full glory or how far they're going to push it. Like I said, trailer's not out. This is just people summarizing or wording the trailer for what they saw. But I'm somewhat excited because I want to see what this can be. Now, to be fair, and I'm gonna talk about this next thing in a second, it's only been produced or directed by one of the Wachowskis. Wachow. I have no idea. Well, I'm gonna say Wachowskis. So I'm not gonna say the movie's gonna be half good, because the movie could just be good just because the Wachowskis in it in the first place. Not to mention, I mean, I know some people like, yeah, but Cloud Atlas wasn't bad. It just, it was. This is my thing. Once the Matrix came out, it was like you can only do the Matrix, in my opinion, once. So back then, when the Matrix came out, there was no Marvel, there was no, there weren't any other types of movies, right, of that caliber like that, except for maybe, that did what they did, except for maybe like Mission Impossible or Bond or whatever the case. So when Matrix did what they did, they changed the scope of like, oh, we can do this and do this. So when the Wachowskis made Cloud Atlas and Jupiter Ascending, or whatever it's called, it didn't really receive well with people, because it's kind of like, you're going to do the Matrix, just give us the Matrix, which that's probably why they're giving us the Matrix. Because, it's kind of like, we just go watch a Marvel movie or a DC movie. We want to see all this crazy action. Or we go see a sci-fi movie now that everybody, because, everybody likes sci-fi movies now. Thank you, James Cameron and the Wachowskis and everybody else who put sci-fi on the map. So it is what it is. But, regardless, I'm excited, because I want to see how they're going to play this and how they're going to redo, since technically the Matrix is supposed to begin and end, and the story was technically finished. What are they going to do? And also, since we have more cinematic stuff since that time, as you see, Marvel's doing so much with their editing and everything, what can they do to top all of that? I want to see them.
What they needed to do, like at the beginning of this next movie, they needed to have Neo and everybody like wake up in that room before he touched the glass, because we all know they just was in a room getting high as hell. Like, that's the only way they had an acid trip. How else you gonna see a mirror taking over yourself? Like, and then you just have this whole wild experience about being in another world. Like, they just wake up in an ambulance, like saying you took some stuff, and then they go, and then that's when he's in that little doctor's office, like talking about, am I crazy? Yeah, you crazy. You went on an acid trip.
That would be like the parody of the movie, or a different movie altogether. I don't think it'd be the Matrix.
But then he gets back into the Matrix.
Then he gets back into the Matrix.
It's all sucker punch.
I don't know if people would like that.
It's all sucker punch.
We're not going to talk about sucker punch. I mean, okay.
The same principle.
I wasn't totally mad at Sucker Punch, but, to the extent because they tried something too. Again, thank you to all the people who tried stuff before and made them try stuff. It wasn't bad. It wasn't great, but it wasn't bad. But we don't need no more Sucker Punches. No more of those. I can use some more Vanessa Hudgens, and no more of those.
I'm saying they just need to add a disclaimer. Drugs are bad. Don't do drugs.
Drugs are bad. But
don't do that.
Let's talk about the directors. All right, so as you guys know, only one of the Wachowskis is doing it, and it's Lana Wachowski. Now, for the people who've been living under a rock, I hope you guys are living under a rock, but for ones who've been living under a rock, you're probably wondering, wait a minute, wasn't it the Wachowski brothers? And we're not going to go into all technically it's 2021. You should understand what happened here. You know what I mean? So just to give you a quick, small summary, technically, as every movie person does, they always, whenever they're writing a movie and making a movie, they always put a little of themselves in the movie, or whatever their experience is, or whatever their mind's going through. Maybe they were on acid, maybe they weren't on acid. Like some people smoke weed and then they get really smart, and then some people do cocaine, they're able to count money better. I don't know. Regardless, point is, they were going through an identity change or crisis or whatever you want to call it, and they went from boys to girls, and the Matrix, amongst a lot of other things that they were doing and going well with their life, were things that helped or pushed their transition, or whatever the case may be. So Lily Wachowski is saying that she doesn't want to come back to the Matrix because that's kind of like reverting backwards. I'm not sure. In the article, she was making it seem like it's not necessarily meaning that she's going to revert to a man, but just kind of think, because apparently a lot of stuff happened to them back then. Parents died, and they had horrible experiences with, like I said, Cloud Atlas and Jupiter Ascending, and some of the other shows and stuff that they were making, to the point to where she just wants to just chill for a little while away from the industry and just paint, because she just felt like she was overwhelmed with a lot of work making these high brand type of movies, or whatever case may be. And I get it to an extent. But one of the things my mom always told me is that never cook when you're hungry. You know what I mean? And so what I mean by that is that if they were going through this emotional ride when they were making The Matrix, it came out great, but it probably had a scar or scarred, Lily to a certain extent, because you were cooking while you were hungry, in my opinion. So it's like, I feel like, and I know a lot of people say, well, people make art, some of the people who make art are the saddest, craziest people, whatever. Look at Michael Jackson. And it's debatable. You could say Michael Jackson was a little sad or not sad or happy too much, or whatever case, or whatever. Or you could say that some of them other people like Rick James, them was smoking. I mean, maybe they weren't. I don't really know. I wasn't there. But the point is, my mom always said, don't cook when you're hungry, because you burn up something, or it might not be exactly what you want it, or people might say it's good, whatever. My mom, whenever she's like rushing, she'll make a cake. Cake be great, but it failed, and it's like this. And now she's upset because she rushed. She want to throw it away. I'm like, no, I'll eat it. And it, to me, it's like the best cake in the world, but to her, it's not. And that may be what's going on here. It probably wasn't the best experience, even though the movies came out to be great and amazing and had great cinematography and had a great little old message about how you can be caught in a cog or wheel or circle of life, or whatever the case may be, or government oppression. I can't remember. There was lots of different things that were going on. Robots taking over the world. Do not get with Google and or Tesla and get you a Tesla bot. I don't know, all those types of things happening in that movie. But you've heard this before. A lot of directors or people who make stuff is like, yeah, and it's like, that was the greatest movie. Yeah, but I didn't like it. Really? I ain't have fun at all. Like, but y'all, this is so good. You heard it before. You see a sex scene or something, you're like, oh man, that was a dope sex scene. And they're like, ugh, I hated her. Her breath stink, and it was just she made a honking noise every time I touched her neck. She honk honk, and I was just like, ugh, and vice versa. So these things tend to happen, or whatever the case may be. But like I said before, that doesn't necessarily mean just because one of the Wachowskis isn't there that the movie's going to be bad. Or apparently the case may. I think that one is very capable. A director is still a director, or whatever. That's just like saying just because one of the Russo brothers aren't there that his movie isn't going to be great. No, I think that I think both of them together could come up with maybe a lot more, or maybe that was it. Like I said, look at Cloud Atlas and Jupiter Ascending. To me, those movies were pretty good, but they weren't up to the same par as The Matrix. So maybe the fire ran out, and maybe working together, both of them as siblings, just wasn't the same as it was the first time. Sometimes that happens. Sometimes you can work very good with a best friend or a sibling and be fired, and after that's kind of like, we can't do what we did that one time. And it's just not the same. So it happens. Or in case of be so, for all you guys wondering, well, why the other one's not coming back? We need both of them to have. We don't know. Let's just wait till the trailer comes out. Let's see how it looks. I mean, because we got Jada Pinkett coming. She's gonna be in the movie, and she was in the movie last time. I don't think she had too much. She didn't have too much scenes. Maybe she'll get more scenes. that Jonas brother, his wife, the girl that was on the FBI or whatever it was for I can't even remember, Bianca Petrova, whatever her name, whatever, I can't even say her name right now. Yeah, she's gonna be in it, and I like the way she acts, like what she does. So she might fit really really well with this, and a bunch of others. Like I said, Neil Patrick Harris, maybe he's the villain. So, and if he's the villain, I'm excited. Who?
The guy that played in Aquaman as a manatee, he's supposed to be in here too. Characters are currently unknown. Jessica Henwick from Marvel's Iron Fist.
Okay. See, so we got some good people, and we're going to see what they can do. So I'm excited. I really want him to be the bad guy.
The woman from Quantico. You were just talking about her.
Oh, right? That's what it was. Yeah.
Jonathan Groff, whatever. He's in Mindhunter. Toby. There's, man, I can't say none of these people's names. It's from Sense8 or some Netflix series. I don't really know any of these people. And then I saw somewhere, where is it? Christina Ricci.
Really?
Harris is joined by other series newcomers like Christina Ricci. Jessica Henwick. Yeah, she just wasn't in the pictures.
Okay. So, like I said, I'm excited. Now this is the thing. I'm not sure if I want agents. Okay, so one of my favorite scenes was from Matrix 2 when they had fought like ghosts and things like that. I don't know. I want them to play with that, where it's more of that than the agents, or maybe or maybe they could do the agents all have different personalities, and maybe all of them are free.
Or what if
maybe all of them are a virus?
Because apparently the ghosts and like any paranormal, like the ghosts, vampires, werewolves, like all the spiritual things, like were supposed to be glitches in the Matrix. And well, like, what if the agents like got mixed in with the glitches, and so now they're agent vampire ghost things, you know, like they have all the agents have different powers like those that they have to mess with.
I like that. I like that. Yeah, so I don't know. I just want more of that. And then like I want to see them, just because I want to see them, you know, that move that made cinema history. I want them to make a new one and make a new history thing. How can you top that? What can you do to top that? Can you shoot bullets, lasers? Maybe you, I don't know. What do you do? Maybe he does it in the air. Maybe like there's like 12, because they said something about there's a missile and Neo's controlling with his mind. So maybe it's like thousands of missiles coming at him and he's just, I don't know. They need to do something. I want to see more of that. So, but that's it, people. That's all I got for today's show. So remember, thank you, Kenny. Thank you, Paul. Who else you say? You said some other names. I didn't catch the names. Said some names. Thank you, everybody.
Hey, you said everybody.
Oh yeah, I thought you said some more names.
Well, it was Paul,
but
JR. JR, you know, is Kaz's older brother. JR.
Mm-hmm.
Kenny.
The drone man. That's what I call him.
That's really it.
Cool.
There's somebody else watching, I think, but they ain't chiming in or commenting, so I don't know.
It's a mystery person.
Can't call anybody out if they don't say they're here. So.
Mystery person. Well, thank all you guys for coming out. Make sure you like, subscribe, comment if you're on YouTube. If you're on Facebook, like, share with everyone else. If you on Vimeo, I'm just joking. We don't. That'd be weird. We on BMO. If you're in outer space watching, if you're an alien, no, I'm joking. But yeah, that's all we got. He said, "Let me know. Beam me up, Scotty." See what I did there?
Take me to where the powers are. That's all I want. Give me powers. I
accept. So that's it, everybody. So catch us next week. It'll be a new month. Maybe it'll be colder. Maybe I'll have a jacket on. No, I'm inside the house. Of course, I'm not gonna have a jacket on. It's just weird. But no, maybe it'll be cooler. Maybe we'll talk some of these shows, because I know I haven't talked a lot of the new fall shows that are out. Maybe some CW. I haven't talked Titans, so maybe we'll do a DC show. Maybe in the state of streaming we'll talk some DC and some of the shows and stuff, because I know Snake wants to really get down with that with the Titans. So we'll talk about that. I don't know.
Next month is Comic-Con. September 18th. September 18th. Put it down on your calendars. That's where I'll be. September 18th.
But you might not recognize it. Or maybe you will. He's gonna keep saying it.
September 18th.
I think they got it. I think they got it.
Hey, Mingo. Are you gonna be there? September 18th? For Comic-Con? You gonna come? September 18th?
Are you asking me if I'm gonna dress up? I don't think I'm gonna dress up.
But are you gonna be there for September 18th? Yeah.
Stop saying it! Alright, guys, we'll catch y'all later. I'm Mingo-Dee. That's Snake saving the world. Maybe he's setting up for a Comic-Con. Who knows? So that's it. Catch you guys next time. Peace.
September 18th.